Hi, everyone. Dr. Patrick McGrath here. And a little different thing today. At NOCD, I have been here now for 5.5 years. I've been doing a Wednesday night webinar for almost that entire time, probably 5 years of that. I think we started it about half a year in for me being here. And in the last year, we started the Get to Know OCD podcast. And it has just been an amazing experience for me to get to meet people from all over who have OCD, who treat OCD, who live with OCD, who've conquered OCD. And I just want to highlight a couple of various things. First of all, to my colleagues who have come onto the podcast, I want to say thank you so very much. It means a lot to me that you trust me enough to come on and chat about the work that you do and why you're so passionate about helping people who have obsessive compulsive disorder. And, a real honor for me, of course, to talk to my mentor, Alec Pollard, who has been on here. Alec has just really helped to change the course of my life because when I was applying for postdocs after I finished up my doctorate degree, I applied to 40 different positions. I got rejected, outright rejected from 39 of them. I got one interview. It was with Alec. We talked about psychology for about 30 seconds, and then we talked about why we both hated the Cubs so much. And our personalities just melded right on that phone call. And he knew that I would be a person that he could train and would want to train because we could have just fun conversations. And that clicked for us. And here I am 26 years later, still doing the work that I do. So that was absolutely amazing. Some of my very best friends have been on the podcast, like John Hirschfield, who just is doing amazing work with the books that he writes and his work out at Shepherd Pratt. Kim Quinlan has been on, who lives in her VW van and just does amazing travels and great work. John Grayson, who has talked to us and also does the Wednesday night webinar with me once a month. And John just being one of the biggest influences in the world on the treatment of obsessive compulsive disorder. So thankful that the friendship and the trust that he has in me and the work that we do and the collegial nature that we have on our webinars is great. And I've gotten to meet people with OCD, people who have gone through NOCD treatment who wanted to give back to the community and tell everybody about all of the things that they're doing in their life now because they've had amazing therapy. And then there's people who are in the spotlight, Howie Mandel and Mark Summers and Maria Bamford and Brad Feld and just all of these folks who have just had incredible lives with OCD. Recently even was out with Howie and he was meeting with Nicole Raffi and it was great to watch the two of them have banter back and forth and Johnny Say's work and just so many different things that people are talking about in terms of what it's like to really live with OCD and how they got better. And the way that they got better was by facing their fears, doing the things that are uncomfortable, learning that they can handle it, and that they didn't have to give in to what the OCD wanted from them. And then there's the influencers out there who I am so thankful to all of you for pushing the narrative about obsessive compulsive disorder. And your work is great to help break down the stigma because your platforms that you have open OCD education and information up to people that we could have never done even 20 years ago. I tell the story sometimes about what it's like to do teletherapy now versus when I started in 1999. We were doing teletherapy in 1999, which may shock some people, but it was so different than what we have now. We were in a dedicated room with a huge monitor and a computer set up and a camera, and there was a remote control that we could use that we held in our hand, and there was a dedicated line that went from St. Louis to this small town called Potosi, and there was another room in that hospital in that town set up, and we could, over the actual telephone lines, do video and chat with each other. And to set all of that up cost over $250,000 just to be able to have that one point to another point connection. And today we could just pick up our phones and be able to have the work that we do be done with our amazing teletherapy platforms. And to the people even here at NOCD who have created those things. And the background is amazing. To my staff behind me who are helping out, Elisa and Cynthia, who helped to set these up for all of you to be able to see the work that we do. Jalissa's there with the writing and the team of writers that we work with that Peter helps to coordinate. We couldn't do all of this work without all of them. You see me on the camera, right? But you don't see the editors who are making sure that I look good, which with this face is not easy to do, by the way. But I so appreciate their work behind the scenes to assure that you out there get to see all these amazing people that we interview all of the time, and you get to truly understand what it's like to live with OCD. There's also the researchers who have been on that we've met at conferences who have come in and taken time out of their conference schedule to talk to us about their research that they've been doing. And I'm really thankful for them on just doing some groundbreaking stuff. And even those here who work at NOCD who have come on to talk about the research that we've done here at NOCD. Nick and Jamie have discussed some of the papers that we've published, and we're continuing to do that with other conditions that we treat. There's so much more to come for the Get to Know OCD podcast in the next year. And I'm excited that we're getting more and more guests lined up for you to see and to listen to and to hear about the great work that they're doing, maybe in the field, or the great work that they're doing because they're not letting OCD drive their lives anymore. So thank all of you, the audience, for watching and listening, because if you weren't there, we don't need to do this, but you are there, you're supporting us, and we just really, really appreciate everything that you do out there in the world to make sure that OCD takes less and less of a bite out of the world that the people live in. We also hope that it has educated you, that you have learned more about OCD, about how to identify OCD. Maybe some of you have discovered that you have OCD in watching this, and you've been able to reach out and get the evidence-based care, that exposure and response prevention treatment that you've sorely needed in your life. We'd also love to see in the comments below, if you feel like it, share how you've overcome OCD. Share what you've learned about OCD. You can even share what still might be a struggle about OCD. We'll take that information and we'll get more Get to Know OCD podcast out there about those very things so that we can help support you in your journey against living with OCD. So thank you. Thank you for watching. And we look forward to another season of the Get to Know OCD podcast, where we will bring you more and more exciting folks that you will get to talk to and listen to. And I'm just really, really excited to see where we go next. So thanks for being on the journey with me, and we'll see you soon.